All righty, welcome to the commission meeting for January 24th, 2023. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Manager McGill, will call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Commissioner Flynn,
Present.
Commissioner Grella,
Here.
Commissioner Ranney,
Here.
Commissioner Swager Wilson, Commissioner Silverman.
Here. Next on the agenda, commission and manager announcements. Manager McGill, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier tonight, Commission met in discussion session and received information and discussed the following items. We received information regarding the process for the main park site plan and architectural study that was approved for this year's budget. We heard an update regarding the women's locker room project at the Public Safety Center. And then we had a lengthy conversation related to the total cost of streets for municipally maintained streets. And we will have subsequent conversations as we move forward on that journey. We also received updates from commissioners on the various boards that they serve as liaisons to. Prior to the discussion session, we met an executive session with the solicitor to receive legal advice on a variety of topics. We also discussed appointments to boards and authorities. The next regular meeting of the commission will be held on Tuesday, February 14th. That's right, it's Valentine's Day. So if you don't have plans, there you go.
Everybody wear red neckties. And
Red, okay.
That meeting will begin at 8 p.m. Here are the ways the public can participate in person. You don't need to pre-register, simply show up at the appropriate meeting time. And if you wish to speak, sign the sign-in sheet at the back of the room or remotely via the Zoom webinar format. Again, you don't need to pre-register, simply click on the link located on the meeting agenda on the municipal website. If you wish to speak during citizens' comments or during public hearings, simply use the raised hand feature on Zoom and you'll be notified when it is your turn to speak.
Thank you. Next community highlights, Commissioner Vice President Swager Wilson.
Thank you. So, do you know any outstanding Mount Lebanon resident who volunteers and is deserving of the Mount Lebanon Community Service Award? Because if you do, you can nominate them online at mountlebanon.org under Trending Now, or you can call 412-343-3552 or email lpace@mountlebanon.org for more information. Nominations are due by Friday, February 18th. This is a wonderful honor for somebody. So if you know a great volunteer, please speak up, let us know. At tonight's meeting, the Mount Lebanon Commission is kicking off observance of Black History Month, which started in 1926 when historian Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week. In 1976, President Gerald Ford began the tradition of a national declaration of the observance. The Black History Month 2023 theme, Black Resistance, explores how African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms, especially the racial terrorism of lynching, racial pogroms, and police killings since the nation's earliest days. Mount Lebanon Public Library has a list of great books to read to educate and celebrate the lives of Black Americans. A list of Pittsburgh's Black History Month events is available at visitpittsburgh.com. Mount Lebanon has 17 boards and authorities with more than 100 talented volunteers who give their time and talent to help the commission make informed decisions. Each March, we fill a number of vacancies as board members come to an end. I'd like to encourage you to apply to volunteer. To do so, go to mountlebanon.org and look for the item under Trending Now. Please apply by February 28th. We really do value your opinions and expertise, so please really think about doing it. It's a rewarding experience. We want to wish a long, healthy, and happy retirement to Amy Kostelich. Amy has been a valuable civilian member of our excellent police department for 16 years, working directly for our police chiefs as an administrative assistant. Thanks for everything you've done to help keep the department running smoothly and efficiently. I'm sure that was a big job. Finally, we extend our warmest wishes for a happy Lunar New Year to our vibrant Asian community. We wish you lots of luck and happiness in the year ahead, the year of the rabbit, right? Year of the rabbit. Mhm,
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
mhm.
Next on the agenda, citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any resident to express an opinion on any topic pertaining to local government. The commission enjoys hearing from the public on various issues and learning about items to address in the future. If you have specific questions, we will try and answer them at the end of your comments. If we can't, we commit to getting the answers as soon as possible. When I call your name, please come to the podium to address the commission, state your name and address for the record. In fairness, we ask that each speaker share their thoughts for 5 minutes. The community is good as each person in this room. We work together to make this a community that we can all be proud of and hope the dialogue remains respectful. We also appreciate the audience's efforts to refrain from any behavior that is disruptive or might intimidate free speech. First on the list is Colonel Hoon. Colonel?
Bill Hoon, 456 Coolidge Avenue. I don't know if you're aware of it, but this is the 24th of January, and we've had 40 mass killings so far in the United States, with 70 dead. And people are shaking their heads and asking questions. A lot of it has to do with a very casual approach to weaponry in this country. I'm not against weapons. I was a soldier for 24 years. I've slept with a weapon right next to my head on many situations. Actually, I'm all for them. But in the wrong hands, we have this, mass killings. My wife and I went to a wine tasting in Lawrenceville recently. Took the bus from downtown after going in on the T, went out to Lawrenceville, tasted some good wines, bought a couple of good wines, and then bid our friends goodbye and came downtown on a bus. The bus took us down to Liberty and Wood. Bus driver opens the door, and my wife immediately steps out. Bus driver says, "Be careful." What my wife didn't hear, as she's trotting down the sidewalk, she's very fast, was the bus driver say, "There's an active shooter." I did hear that because I was behind her. And at that point, I looked at her and she nodded her head. I stuck my head out to see where my wife was, wanted to make sure she wasn't going into anything. And then I looked back along the bus down Liberty Avenue. I saw a rather large cop running down the sidewalk. And I also saw 3 squad cars, 2 on the street coming up to Liberty and 1 on Liberty. Well, I got off the bus at that point. I didn't know anything else was going on. And I headed down to the Wood Street T. Didn't see anything going on down there. So I just thought, best idea, get on the T, get out of town. That's what we did. The next day, I found out that there was a fellow in the alley parallel to Liberty Avenue. He was about 100 feet away from us. He was the one with the gun. Evidently, he was taken down, was not killed. A major, major concern on my part was ricocheting rounds. Not knowing where this guy was, I noted that the cop that was running the other way did not have his weapon drawn. I was concerned because ricochets have no idea where they're going and they don't care. As a matter of fact, yesterday, there was a Native American hunter who was just outside a national park, and he was hit by a ricochet. Wasn't fatal. It was another hunter. I don't know if they even identified the guy. Ricochet hit. I don't know if you're following the news, but a couple of days ago, a 13-year-old girl was standing on a sidewalk, and I've forgotten what city. She was waiting for her friends. Somebody fired a weapon. There was a ricochet. Hit this girl in the stomach. She died 2 days later. So, you know, all this thought that, yeah, the shooting's no big deal. It's not a problem. We've got experts. We have suburban wildlife management or whatever. That's a total illusion, folks. Total illusion. And if that's the way you want to play the game, well, we have what we have. I've heard that Mount Lebanon is a premier community. I've been in premier communities, folks, and not one of them would allow this kind of stuff to go on. Good night.
Thank you, Colonel. For the record, the ammunition used, and I won't get the name right, fungible. The idea is that the bullet fragments when it hits the ground rather than ricocheting around. So there's a very specific concern that it's part of the program that they have to only use that type of ammunition. Also, I'm surprised that the bus left you off in a hazardous situation. That's surprising. I would have thought the bus would have not waited until you were out of harm's way before dropping you off.
I don't know if you're aware of it. I'm half deaf due to my military activity. I was unable to hear anything you said.
Oh, sorry. Well, part of it was I was surprised the bus dropped you off in a zone that there was an active shooter.
Well, she was evidently told something to continue her route. That being the case, they do it. She just did not want to hang around.
Right. I'm just surprised they let you off in that.
She wasn't
Situation.
putting us into a free fire.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see, next on the, I'm trying to read the handwriting here. Elsie Hawk? I didn't even get close. Sorry about that. We'll come up to the microphone. That way everybody can hear the proper pronunciation. Hello, Patty.
Welcome. Okay. So my name is Elise Adams Hackey. I live at 820 Ridgeview Drive. And I'm here tonight to make a comment about pedestrian safety in our community. I started making the rounds on this topic last year, engaging various boards and commissioners. The recent accident involving Isaac Van Wassenhove, the waste management employee who picks up trash in my neighborhood, has spurred me back to action. A little bit of background on me. I'm a Mount Lebanon native. I grew up in the Lincoln district. I went to Lincoln Elementary. I was in the first class to attend 6th grade at Jefferson Middle, and I graduated from Mount Lebanon High School. I lived in New York City for a decade and then Shadyside for a time before moving my young family back to Mount Lebanon. I have 3 daughters, the oldest of whom is currently in kindergarten at Foster right here. I chose to return to Mount Lebanon because I value the quality of the education our community provides. But as much as I value my children's education, I value their safety and well-being even more. This is why I continue to be highly distressed about the lack of safe walking routes in my Ward 3, District 3 neighborhood. When I was a student in Mount Lebanon, 100% of my walking routes to elementary, middle, and high school were lined with sidewalks. On top of that, the intersections I crossed were controlled with stop signs, traffic signals, and crossing guards. By contrast, Maddie here is expected to walk to Foster on a route that has only 6% sidewalks. She's expected to scurry across a busy street with unmarked and uncontrolled intersections. The terrain is hilly and winding and sightlines are poor. There are so many compounding factors. On our safe walking route, published by the Mount Lebanon School District and the Police Department, it indicates that the recommended routes will, quote, take you to a signalized intersection with a stop sign or traffic signal, making it easier to cross. But it's just not true in my neighborhood. My neighbors and I are expected to accept far too much risk on a daily basis for a walking district. I know we can do better to standardize safe walking in this community. I worked with the traffic board last year. I think there were inherent flaws in the analysis, but their recommendation was ultimately to implement sidewalks, which they have exactly no authority to do. I walked my daughter's safe walking route with traffic engineer Michael Haberman, and he was jumping into people's front yards to avoid getting hit by oncoming traffic. I've spoken with the municipality and entered my feedback into the comprehensive plan survey. I've encouraged my neighbors to do the same. I've spoken with school district administrators. I've met with some of you. I'm willing to attend other meetings to lobby for incremental progress, but everyone is quick to point me in a different direction. So I'm here tonight to ask the commission to please make this a priority. What happened to Isaac, my neighborhood trash man, was tragic. He's lucky to be alive and faces a long road ahead of him in his recovery. It's unacceptable to me that we maintain the status quo, which leaves all of the children in my neighborhood at risk of their own tragedy. It takes a village to raise a child. Please help me take the steps necessary to protect the safety and well-being of all of the kids in my neighborhood. Thank you. Maddie drew you a picture that she wants to present.
I
also did a dance.
I don't want to sound like I was not taking what you're saying seriously, because your daughter is spinning around next to you. It's like, sorry. If anybody's watching, why is he laughing at this? Like, so,
Gonna give that to
I
someone?
think you need to go get that picture.
Yeah.
You get the honor.
We also have the 4-year-old interpretation, but the 5-year-old interpretation is a bit more detailed. Here's
One
the
more.
other one.
Great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I appreciate you coming to commission. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see, for citizen comments, Sandy, do we have, sorry,
Can we
sorry,
talk about that?
please.
We just want to let you know that we have received a proposed new sidewalk ordinance. We're not at the point of even introducing it publicly, but we are very much looking into it as to how to fund more sidewalks, because the comprehensive plan is saying loudly and clearly that
Yeah.
walkability.
Yeah, I hear all the headwinds, right? Like I
Yeah.
know there's the investment, I know there's the maintenance, I know
Yeah.
there are a lot of things, but I still think prioritizing
Sure.
safety should rule, right?
Yeah, I
And
don't-
if
I
we
don't
have
think
to be aggressive or unapologetic about that, I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah.
My understanding was that may just be like reducing the financial burden on the property owner. Is
Mhm.
that the revision to the
Mhm.
expansion
That was
policy?
part of it, and also how many people would have to be behind getting a sidewalk. And then whether we could do it the whole length, or whether we would be restricted by not putting it in front of somebody's house that doesn't want it. So there are a lot of issues that go into it that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're taking it very seriously, that it's a really important issue, especially in Ward 3.
Yeah, I mean, I can live with them without them on my street, but Woodland is a
Woodland's
nightmare.
awful.
It's
Yeah,
so
agree.
dangerous. It's like akin to a worse North Meadowcroft before it had stop signs, but you're on sidewalks on North Meadowcroft,
Mhm.
we're walking in the middle of the street, so.
Yeah, and kids and the cars go really fast.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm happy to come to any other meetings to speak up on
Thank you
that.
for coming and talking. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for repping Ward 3.
Mhm.
Anybody have any other comments?
No, just
Great.
thank you for coming.
Let's see, online comments. Sandy, do we have anybody online?
None at this time. Nope.
Seeing if we get anything on Keith's phone to see if Sandy is texting in.
No, I don't have anything from. What do you want? No.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. All right, so that concludes citizens' comments. Next, item 3, Commissioner Swagger Wilson, please.
Thank you. Consideration of the minutes from the regular meeting held January 10th, 2023. I move to approve the minutes.
Second. Motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
I
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item 4, Commissioner Rainey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public hearing and consideration of ordinance bill number 1-23, amending the Mount Lebanon Code to include newly enacted ordinances or amendments to the existing ordinances enacted since January 25th, 2022. Mount Lebanon's ordinances were codified in 1978, with updates occurring periodically since that time. All of the ordinances have been enacted previously by the commission, but this action will only codify the documents. This ordinance was introduced January 10th, 2023.
Okay, I'm officially opening the hearing on this. No one has signed to speak for in the room. Sandy, anybody online who wants to speak on this subject?
Nobody online.
Nobody's online. Go ahead.
Do we have a place?
Not currently.
There's an index of ordinances, like amended ordinances and things like that. No, I've had questions for Ian in the past and he'll send me usually individual ordinances. I'm just curious if we've got like an index.
Since we have Miss Canteen here, she really, for a large portion of the time she was here, was responsible for doing that codification and incorporating all of those. So there is an index at the back of the administrative code that shows you the ordinance number and if it was amended by an ordinance, if it was repealed.
Mhm.
So there is an index to the ordinances, I believe is what it's called.
So could we find that on the online version of the administrative code as well? Will it link to those things or no?
I don't know if it'll link, but I think it's,
It's all on there, just like the ordinances. Each chapter is on there.
Yes.
Separate links and see links.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, oh, you're welcome. Anybody else? All right, we'll close that public hearing. Mr. Rainey, please.
Thank you. I move to enact ordinance bill number 1-23.
second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item 5, Commissioner Flynn, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Introduction of ordinance, bill number 2-23, amending the administrative code to restructure the municipalities, boards, and authorities. The administrative code establishes and includes a description of the composition of the municipalities, boards, and authorities. The proposed ordinance is a comprehensive restructuring of the municipalities' boards. 5 new boards are created: Civic Engagement Advisory Board, Mobility and Transportation Advisory Board, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Community Sustainability and Economic Development Advisory Board, and the Financial Management Advisory Board. Duties, purposes, membership requirements, terms, and uniform operating procedures are also established. The proposed new boards will replace the Community Relations Board, Economic Development Council, Environmental Sustainability Board, Equal Opportunity Board, Historic Preservation Board, Parking Facilities Board, Parks Advisory Board, Pension Investment Board, Sports Advisory Board, and Traffic Board. The proposed ordinance also contains provisions for transfer of certain functions previously assigned to a specific board. Mr. President, I would like to introduce ordinance bill number 2-23.
Thank you, and we'll set a public hearing on that for February 14th, 2023. Item 6, Commissioner Grella, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration of a resolution R-1-23 approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement. Mount Lebanon and the Borough of Dormont have discussed and agreed to institute and administer a program where Mount Lebanon will provide assistance with certain aspects of Dormont's financial operations. The details of the program are set forth in a draft agreement. Initially, the program will entail assistance with processing and reporting of accounts payable transactions. The agreement is authorized by the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act and must be approved by resolution. I move to adopt resolution R-1-23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item 7, Commissioner Spargo Wilson, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration of resolution R-02-23, authorizing the traffic signal maintenance agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. In an effort to reduce intersection accidents, Mount Lebanon is making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, PennDOT, for Green Light Go grants to make improvements to signals at specific intersections in the community. As part of the grant application, a traffic signal maintenance agreement is required to be filed with PennDOT. These intersections targeted for improvements with the Green Light Go applications are as follows, and they're on your left, right on the board if you want to see them, follow along. Washington Road and Shady Drive, Washington Road and Academy Avenue, Washington Road and Cedar Boulevard, Washington Road and Alfred Street, Washington Road and Central Square, Washington Road and Lebanon Avenue, Washington Road and Castle Shannon Boulevard, Washington Road and Cochrane Road, Washington Road and Crestview Manor. I move to adopt resolution R 02-23 and authorize the proper municipal officials to execute the agreements and file the grant application.
Second.
The motion has been moved and second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item 8, Commissioner Rainey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration for the renewal of the backwater valve maintenance contract for 2023. Bids were received on February 26th, 2020 for the Mount Lebanon backwater valve maintenance contract rebid. This contract is used to clean, repair, and maintain backwater valves that have been installed on private sanitary sewer house laterals by the municipality. The municipality has the right to renew this contract on a yearly basis until 2023. This allows the contract to extend at Mount Lebanon's discretion to maintain continuity. Other advantages include reduced bidding and administrative costs, and it incentivizes contractors to provide better pricing for a potential multi-year contract. The bid includes maintenance items at a per each unit basis. The 2020 bids were submitted by 2 contractors and verified by the municipal engineer as follows. They are on the board and on your screen. The municipal engineer and public works department, based upon past performance of the contractor, recommends extension of the contract Roto-Rooter Services Company. The contractor has completed the first, second, and third years of work in a satisfactory manner. The 4th renewal period for the 2023 year represents a 2.37% increase above the 2022 contract. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for from the sanitary funds. I move to award 2023 renewal of the backwater valve maintenance contract to Roto-Rooter Services Company in the base bid contract amount of $17,915.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 9, Commissioner Flynn, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration for the renewal of the annual storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract. Bids were received on January 18th, 2022 for the annual storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract. The contract for 2023 encompasses cleaning and video inspection to fulfill the requirements of the operation and maintenance portion of the consent order, as well as to inspect sewers under roads to be repaved or reconstructed. The contract includes a base year 2022 with 2 optional renewal periods. In 2022, bids were submitted by 5 contractors and verified as presented either on screen or to the audience's left. The engineer's estimate for the work was $281,500, and based upon past performance of the contractor, he recommends award of the contract to Roto-Rooter Services Company. The base bid for the 2023 contract year represents a 7.4% increase in contract amount compared to 2022. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for from the sanitary and stormwater funds. I move to award the 2023 renewal for the storm and sanitary sewer cleaning and televising contract to Roto-Rooter Services Company in the amount of $222,625 with the option for additional years at the municipality's discretion per the terms of the contract documents.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? It's worth noting that the engineer's estimate, or I should maybe put it the other way, that the bid came in well below the engineer's estimate. We always like when that works out our way. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Commissioner Grella, item 10, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration for renewal of the sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation contract for 2023. Bids were received on March 4, 2021 for sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation program. The project involves the rehabilitation of sanitary sewer manholes showing signs of deterioration through the municipality. This is a required activity of the EPA consent order. The contract included a base year 2021 with 2 optional renewal periods. The municipal engineer verified the bids in 2021 as follows. You can see that on the screen, or if you're in the room, it will be your left. The engineer's estimate for the work was $573,292, and based upon past performance of the contractor, I recommend the extension of the contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company. The second renewal period for the 2023 year represents approximately a 10% increase above the 2022 contract unit prices. Project is to be funded through the Sanitary Sewer Fund. I move to award the second renewal period 2023 sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation program contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning Company in the amount of $537,250.
Second.
The motion moved in second. Any questions or comments? Once again, we came in under budget, so we appreciate that. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Item 11, Commissioner Spargo Wilson, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration for renewal of the 2023 sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract. Bids were received on February 21st, 2022 for the sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract. This contract is used to make repairs in the sanitary and storm sewer system as they are identified in the calendar year through investigative work or emergency situations. The bid includes 138 items associated with the work, and as such, the total contract value is overstated in the amount of work that will be completed in any calendar year. To address this issue, the contract documents clearly state that there is no guarantee as to the amount of work issued by the municipality. The contract included a base year, 2022, with 2 optional renewal periods. The municipal engineer verified the bids as follows. Again, they're on the screen to your left. The municipal engineer has reviewed the bids and determined the low bid to be accurate, and based upon past performance of the contractor, he recommends award of the contract to Neondo Construction, Inc. The amount of work issued under the contract will be paid for from the general sanitary and storm sewer accounts. I move to award the first renewal period 2023 sanitary and storm sewer point repair contract to Neondo Construction in the amount of $1,004,245.20 with the option for additional years at the municipality's discretion per the terms of the contract document.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Right. Item 12. Commissioner Rainey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration to purchase one fully equipped heavy dump truck from Hunter Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Cooperative Purchasing Program. This truck will replace truck number 216, a 2015 Freightliner 10-8SD that will be sold at auction upon receipt of the new vehicle. The heavy dump trucks are used for main road snow plowing, leaf collection, and other heavy hauling. The new 2024 truck includes a Peterbilt model 537 chassis with 2-wheel drive, 6-speed Allison automatic transmission, snowplow preparation package, 9-foot 6-inch Morocco aluminum dump truck, central hydraulic system, Byers stainless tailgate salt spreader, Falls 10-foot snowplow, custom aluminum leaf box, and trailer tow package at a total cost of $227,435. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2023 municipal budget at $220,860. Additional proceeds from the sale of existing equipment and, if needed, fund balance from the capital projects fund will cover the budget overage. I move to purchase one fully equipped Peterbilt snowplow truck from Hunter Truck Sales through the Pennsylvania CoStarz Cooperative Purchasing Program, contracts 025-E22-501 municipal work vehicles and 025-E22-441 at a total cost of $227,435.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
I have, oh yeah, go
Go ahead. No,
ahead.
you go.
I have a question. What is the estimate of the resale value of the existing vehicle?
Refer to the Public Works Director.
Mr. Sil.
Calculated in the cost.
Mr. Silver's coming up, so he'll. walk
I know,
us through.
yeah.
We budgeted the proceeds of, I think it's $10,000 or $12,000 for this particular truck. That's typically, but we've been seeing a lot more resale value, over the last couple of years because of the value of used vehicles. So that's how we anticipate to make up the difference between the estimated cost, which I anticipated a 10% increase, and it was closer to 20%.
Yeah.
Last
That's
year,
okay.
this year with all the people, so
But only 10 or 12,000?
that's all we budgeted, yeah, for revenue, so we should.
See, way more.
Cover that with the solid vehicle. Last year, for instance, one of the smaller trucks, we saw $30,000 or $32,000, I think, in resale value.
Okay, yeah, 2015. Yeah.
A lot more money.
Definitely. Okay, thank you. You may want to stay up for Craig's. You go ahead.
Commissioner Grella?
The question I have is related to the resiliency and sustainability policy that we have, which calls for, and I realize that some of this is related to metrics that we will define in the future, but this is along the lines of what I mentioned before in discussion session about having policies that actually are meaningful and have teeth. Have we looked at electric versions of these vehicles or electric alternatives for this particular vehicle?
Not at this time, we have time.
Okay, thanks.
Good, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No,
No. The motion passes 4-1. Item 13, Commissioner Flynn, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration to purchase one ready-to-use four-wheel drive snowplow truck from Wolf's and Wind Ford through the Pennsylvania CoStarz purchasing program. This truck will replace truck number 229, or as I like to call it when it goes by my house, the Jolly Roger. A 2013 model Ram 5500, which will be sold at auction upon receipt of the new vehicle. The new snowplow truck includes a 2023 Ford F550 four-wheel drive cab and chassis, 6.7 liter Ford turbo diesel engine, 6-speed automatic transmission, snowplow preparation package, 9-foot Morocco aluminum dump body, central hydraulic system, stainless steel tailgate salt spreader, 9-foot snowplow and trailer tow package at a low cost of $122,740. Funding for this vehicle has been appropriated in the 2023 municipal budget at $114,400. Additional proceeds from the sale of existing equipment and, if needed, fund balance from the capital projects fund will cover the budget overage. Mr. President, I move to purchase one ready-to-use four-wheel drive snowplow truck from Wolf's and Wind Ford through the Pennsylvania CoStarz purchasing program, contract number 025E22401 and 025E22441 at a total cost of $122,740.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. I have to ask, why the Jolly Roger?
Just seemed fun.
There you go. All right, good stuff. Any other comments about
same question as the previous item.
okay.
EV options. There's your
EV
question.
options are options with, alternative carbon emissions, things like that.
Yeah, and I know we can't answer the question, but one of the things that I have been talking to the Environmental Sustainability Board, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Randy to continue on this discussion is any individual vehicle is going to be a challenge, right? So how do we as a municipality think about the overall fleet fuel efficiency and set a line that trends downward so that Public Works and all the other departments have the flexibility to adapt as they move while still striving to drive the fuel efficiency of the fleet overall?
Baby steps,
Recognizing
Commissioner Flynn, one at a time.
no, I totally appreciate that. But I think the reality is that ultimately it's going to be at their level to make those decisions. So I think the question is valid, but I think the policies that we want to establish are going to be at a level where they're going to maintain flexibility to make the decision while still achieving the targets we're shooting for.
Mhm.
Any more thoughts, questions? All right. In that case, moved, seconded, and discussed. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
All right, the motion passes 4 votes to 1. Item 14, we're going to shift this and ask Commissioner Swager Wilson to read this instead of Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Mr. President. Consideration to purchase one Caterpillar 30407A mini excavator. Commission approval is requested to purchase one Caterpillar 30407A mini excavator from Cleveland Brothers Equipment at a purchase price of $80,100. The amount approved in the 2023 capital improvement budget was $73,030. Cleveland Brothers quoted the cost of the new excavator under state contract 4400019950, parent contract 4400019935. Additional proceeds from the sale of existing equipment and if needed, fund balance from the capital projects fund will cover the budget overage. I move to purchase one Caterpillar 30407A mini excavator from Cleveland Brothers Equipment at a purchase price of $80,100.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
I have the same question as the previous two items.
Okay, you want to come up, Rudy? Sure, thanks.
I'm not aware of any electric excavators that are made at this time, so we really didn't look at them, so.
I just did a quick web search and found one.
They are available,
Here, so.
okay.
Rudy, while you're up here, just going back for the record to the previous question for the snow plow, electric vehicle options.
Yeah, we didn't really research that either.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's on the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure looking forward.
Okay.
Forward that we did.
Great, thank you. All right, any other comments? All right, all those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed? No. All right, the motion passes 4 votes to 1. Item 15, Commissioner Sparker Wilson, please.
Consideration of the expenditure list for December totaling $6,845,315.24.
Second.
All right.
Move to
Oh,
approve.
I think he's gonna vote yes on this.
Expenditure list for December. He just wants to hear me say it again. Totaling $6,845,315.24.
Now I second.
Okay, cool.
The motion is moved second and seconded. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Item 6, Commissioner Rainey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that the reports be received and filed.
And they shall be, and we are adjourned.
Thank you so much. Keep your pens